أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Respected viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were discussing the things for which it's obligatory on a person to take wudu. The first thing, as discussed in the previous session, the first thing we discussed in the previous session, of course, was for prayers, whether it be an obligatory prayer or a recommended prayer, it's obligatory on a person to take wudu before that, because the prayers without wudu, they're not valid. They say, it's in a hadith, it mentions that La salata illa bi tahur. There is no prayers but with purification. That means for every prayer you need to purify yourself spiritually, which is either by doing wudu or by doing tayammum or by doing ghusl. So this was the first thing, except salatul mayyit, except the prayers that is said on a mayyit, on a dead body. Except that prayer, every other prayer, whether it be obligatory or recommended, it's obligatory to take wudu for that prayer. So this was the first one. And the second one was a forgotten sajda or tashahhud. It's obligatory on a person to take wudu before that if he has made his wudu void in this condition, as discussed in the previous session. The third one was to do a tawaf around the Kaaba. If someone wishes to circumambulate around the Kaaba, whether it be Hajj or be Umrah, it's obligatory on a person to take wudu. These were the first three things that we discussed in the previous lesson. And here we're going to be discussing the other three things. The fourth one is, if someone has made a nadhr, or someone has taken a vow, that is a qasam, a nadhr or a qasam. Alright, that means he said that if I pass in my exam, I will take wudu, I will do wudu. Alright, if someone makes such a nadhr, in this condition, it will be obligatory on the person. Whenever the nadhr is fulfilled, he will be taking the wudu. It will be obligatory on him. Alright, the way people say that if I pass in my exam, I'll take a fast, I'll fast the other day, or I will fast on the next Friday, right? So, and when they pass, inshallah, what happens is that it becomes obligatory on them to fast the next Friday according to what they have mentioned in their nadhr. Similarly here, if someone makes a nadhr to do wudu if he passes the exam, or for any other thing, and then that thing happens, in this condition, it will be obligatory on the person to do what? To do wudu. So this is the fourth point. The fifth one is, for example, now there are certain things that are not possible, that are not lawful unless they are done with wudu. Like what? Like if someone has made a nadhr that if I pass my exam, I will kiss one of the verses of the Quran. Now touching one of the verses of the Quran, it requires for a person to touch these verses of the Holy Quran. It's obligatory for him to be in the state of wudu, to be in the state of tahara, right? So here also, when his nadhr is fulfilled, it will be obligatory on the person to take wudu and then touch the writing of the Holy Quran. So this was the fifth point. And the sixth one is that, as we mentioned, that if a page of the Quran or any such writing on which there is an ayah, a verse of the Holy Quran is written, if it falls inside a toilet, alayadu billah, then it's obligatory on a person to take it out. Now here, before taking that thing out, it's obligatory on a person to take wudu. Before taking the ayah or any other page, any such holy page from the toilet, it's obligatory on the person to take wudu. When he wishes to wash it, when he wishes to wash that place, it will be obligatory to take wudu, right? Okay. Now here also, within brackets, I should mention that if taking wudu, doing wudu will take so much time that it will be a disrespect for that piece of paper to be fallen inside the toilet. Here the person should take it out immediately. Or one must try not to touch the verse from a side of that paper. He must pick it up and should wash it. But before washing it, because while he washes it, he will wipe his hands over that place. So it will be obligatory on the person to take wudu before that. Okay. Now, as far as touching the verses of the Holy Quran is concerned, that means touching not only means to touch something by his hand. No, making any part of our body come in contact with any of the verses of the Quran is touching, is regarded as touching, right? So even if I want to kiss the writing of the Holy Quran, even in that situation, it will be obligatory on me to take wudu, all right? Because I cannot make any of my body part to come in contact with the verse of the Quran without me being in the state of tahara, right? So as far as this mas'ala is concerned, so it's unlawful for anyone who has not taken wudu, right? But if the Quran is translated into any other language, if the Holy Quran is translated in any other language other than Arabic, it may be Persian or be English or be Urdu, any other language, Hindi, it will not be obligatory to take wudu. If you want to touch those letters that are in English or in any other language other than Arabic, here it will not be obligatory to take wudu. So this is also something regarding touching the verses of the Holy Quran. Okay, now if there is a Quran and we are seeing a child coming close to the Quran, obviously a kid, probably 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old boy, okay, 10-year-old boy, or an 8-year-old girl, all right? A kid is someone who is not baligh according to the rules of Islam. So if the child is coming towards the Quran and he wishes to touch the holy verses of the Quran, here it's not obligatory on a person to take the Quran away from the child. It's not obligatory to just stop him from doing this, unless it is regarded as disrespect, because a kid, he can do anything, all right? So if it's not disrespectful towards Quran, if he simply wishes to touch the holy verses of the Quran, even if he's not in the state of tahara, it's not obligatory on us to stop him from doing what he is doing. Okay. The same is the case with someone who is insane. Now, there is someone who is out of his senses, who is a majnoon. Majnoon in Arabic means someone who has gone mad, who is insane, who is out of his senses. Okay, not unconscious, but someone who is insane, all right? So the same is the case with an insane person. If he wishes to touch the Holy Quran, it's not obligatory on any other, on us. It will not be obligatory on us to make him stop from touching the Quran, all right? Because a kid, someone who's not baligh, is a kid, and someone who is not aqil, all right, like an insane person. These people, they do not have any taklif. All right, Islamic laws, they're not meant for these people. They do not come under these laws. All right, so if someone is baligh and aqil, he is someone who comes and who must abide by these laws. But someone who is insane or who is a kid, it's not obligatory on them to follow these laws, and neither it is obligatory on us to stop them from touching the verses of the Quran, unless it is regarded as disrespect towards the Quran. If he does something that is disrespectful towards the Quran, here it becomes obligatory on us to do what? It becomes obligatory on us to stop the kid, or to stop that insane person from doing what is being regarded as disrespectful towards the Quran. Okay. Now, here they say that based on obligatory precaution. I hope you remember what's obligatory precaution. Obligatory precaution is something that's not a fatwa. Obligatory precaution is something different from a fatwa. A fatwa is something that we need to follow our mujtahid in that rule. But an obligatory precaution, we can refer to some other mujtahid as well. Okay? If he has a fatwa, we can refer to that mujtahid and take his fatwa. Alright? And leave the obligatory precaution of our mujtahid. So this is the difference between an obligatory precaution and a fatwa. So they say that on the basis of obligatory precaution, it is unlawful for someone who does not have wuzu to touch the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To touch the name of Allah, whether it be in any language, alright? And similarly, the names of the holy household, the names of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, those people who are in Ahlul Bayt, that means the 14 infallibles alayhimus salam, similarly, it's obligatory, on the basis of an obligatory precaution. One should not touch the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while he's not in the state of wudu. Alright, so if there is a piece of paper or any other book, a book in which it's written God, G-O-D, God, alright, now it's in English language, it's not in Arabic, but he says on the basis of obligatory precaution, it's not allowed to you, it's not allowed for you to touch the holy name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it be in any language, okay? And similarly, the special attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like what? Like Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman is an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Similarly, it's not on the basis of obligatory precaution, it's unlawful to touch the word Ar-Rahman, whether it be in any language, whether it be in Arabic or in any other language. It's not permissible to touch these holy names without wudu. Alright? And similarly, it's recommended that one does not touch the names of the holy infallible Imams alayhimus salam and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi and Lady Zahra salamullahi alayha. One should not touch their names as well. It's also recommended. Okay. So one should stay away from these holy names with if he's not in the state of wudu. One cannot touch, one cannot make any part of his body to come in contact with what? With these names. Now here also, sometimes what do we have? We have those turba on which we prostrate, on which we do sajda, and it's written Ya Aba Abdullah. Now here, Ya Aba Abdullah refers to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Alright, so it's better not to touch it. But Aba Abdullah, Allah is also written. So here, that turba on which such name is written, it's obligatory not to touch it. It's unlawful to touch it without a person being in the state of wudu. Similarly, you might have seen a few people, they wear necklaces or lockets in their neck, and or in their bracelets, and it's written Ya Allah, or any other verse of the Quran is written on their rings. Now there are rings where it's written Nasrum min Allahi fathun qareeb. Now here Nasrum min Allah, here Allah. So one should not touch the gem of this ring, whether it be aqiq or it be any other stone. One should not touch the stone without the person being in the state of wudu. So this is also something really important, and it should be known and it should be taught. It should be taught towards to the people. The same is the case with the people put on in their necks or in their wrists, the bracelets and the rings, right? So if it's the name of Allah or any verse of the Quran, it's obligatory to stay away. And if it's the name of any of the Imams or Ma'sumin alayhimus salam, here it's recommended that one should not touch them. That means one should not make his body parts come in contact with that name if he is not in the state of wudu. Okay. Now, if someone is certain that the time of prayers has set in, and he makes the intention of performing an obligatory wudu. Alright, now these are we're towards the end of these masail. Here he states that a person, he knows that the time of prayers has set in, and he makes the intention that I'm performing wudu, which is obligatory, because as the time of the prayer sets in, it becomes obligatory on us to take wudu. For example, if the time of the dhuhr prayers is 12 noon, so at 11:30 it was not obligatory on us to take wudu, right? But at 12, it became obligatory on us to do wudu. Why? Because the time of the prayers, it's set in. Okay. Now, after taking wudu, he comes to remember, or he comes to know that the time has not set in yet. Here, what is the hukum, what is the rule regarding his wudu? Here, Ayatollah Al-Uzma As-Sayyid Ali Husseini As-Sistani, he says that his wudu is proper, it's completely valid, and he can say his prayers with that wudu. Okay. Now, these were the few last mas'alas regarding the things for which it's obligatory to do the wudu. Those were 6 in number, and we discussed them right now. Okay. Now, another important thing, that is, what are the things that make our wudu void? How does it become invalid? How is a wudu invalidated? They say that there are 7 things that invalidate the wudu. The first one is passing of urine. The second one is passing of feces. Okay, so if someone uses the toilet, all right, and he passes and he urinates, or he excretes, all right, or any of the wind, all right, which is of the stomach or the intestine, it comes out, this will also invalidate the wudu. These are the first 3 things. Okay. The fourth one is to sleep. If someone sleeps in a way that his eyes are closed, he is not seeing anything, and his ears are not hearing anything. Okay, sleeping is this. Not simply closing one's eyes and listening to what others are talking. Or if someone would talk, he would listen. Alright, so sleeping refers to these 2 things, that eyes being closed, he's not seeing anything, and neither he is hearing anything. That means if someone speaks next to him, he would not hear. This is known as sleeping. So if someone is sleeping or he falls asleep in this condition, it's obligatory. This kind of sleeping will also invalidate one's wudu. But if someone simply closes his eyes in a way that he is conscious and he is hearing and he's alert, in this condition, no, his wudu will not be invalidated. So this is the fourth thing that invalidates the wudu. The fifth one is that using those things that make the person lose his mind, like what? Like the use of intoxicants, or the use of anything that brings unconsciousness. This will also invalidate the wudu. This is the fifth one. And the sixth one is istihada. Istihada, which is a kind of blood that is seen by the women. Okay, the women, they see 3 kinds of blood. Let us discuss this in brief within brackets. The first one is hayd. Now, hayd blood is something that's usual and which is seen in a specific period, a period of 6 days or 7, between 3 to 10 days. This is mentioned in the narrations, that the blood which is seen between 3 to 10 days is regarded as the blood of hayd, and which has a specific period and a specific timetable which is known and which will be discussed in the later discussions. So this is the first kind of blood that is seen. And the second kind is the blood of nifas. Now the blood of nifas is the blood that is that comes out after when a woman, she gives birth to a child. This is known as the blood of nifas. And the third one is istihada. The third one is istihada. Now this istihada is also what? Is a blood other than these two, other than Hayz and Nifas, will be regarded as istihada. Okay, so this also invalidates the wudu. And the seventh thing that invalidates the wudu is janaba. When a person comes into the state of janaba, alright, here his wudu, it becomes void. So these are the seven things that invalidate one's wudu. Other than these seven things, we do not have anything that invalidates one's wudu. Okay, now coming on to the next part of our discussion, which is the rules and certain laws regarding the holy month of Ramadan. Connecting it with the same topic we were discussing, which is janaba. One of the masail, one of the important masail, which normally people, they do not know, or they just take it too simple, is to remain in the state of janaba before the morning prayers. If a person intentionally, deliberately, if he remains in the state of janaba before the morning prayers until the time of the morning prayer sets in, this will invalidate his fast. Alright, here Ayatollah Sistani, he says in Mas'ala 1589 that in the month of Ramadan, if someone who is junub, who is in the state of janaba, if he intentionally does not perform ghusl, or he intentionally does not perform tayammum, like what? For example, if someone woke up, now take the example, if the morning prayers, the call of the morning prayers, the adhan of the morning prayers, take the example, if it's at 4:15 in the morning, that means at 4:15, the time of the morning prayer sets in. Now, if someone wakes up in the night, in the morning of the holy month of Ramadan at 4:13, just 2 minutes remaining, and he finds himself in the state of janaba, now what will this person do? It's obligatory on this person, because this time is not sufficient to take ghusl. He will not be able to do ghusl. He will not be able to complete his ghusl. In this condition, it's obligatory on the person to do tayammum. Alright? So his duty is to do tayammum. Similarly, if someone wakes up a bit before that, it's obligatory on the person to do the ghusl and complete it before the time of the morning prayer sets in. Right? So, if someone remains in that state, here it's obligatory on the person not to eat anything, to fast that day. This will invalidate the fast. That doesn't mean that he will be allowed to eat and drink anything he wants. No. If he does this, look what he says. He says he must complete the fast of that day with the intention of ma fi dhimma. That means he will not intend the fast of the holy month of Ramadan. He will not intend the fast. He will intend ma fi dhimma, whatever is on my duty. Ma fi dhimma, it's translated as anything that is on my duty, whatever my duty is. This is known as ma fi dhimma. So he will complete that fast with the intention of ma fi dhimma, and then will take another fast, will do the qada of this fast after the holy month of Ramadan. Alright? And that qada will also be with the same intention, ma fi dhimma. That means whatever is on my duty. This is what is stated in, that means has been stated by Ayatollah al-Udma As-Sayyid Ali Husseini As-Sistani. He says he must complete the fast of that day with the intention of ma fi dhimma, and he must also fast another day after Ramadan. That means he must take the qada. And he will not intend qada, he will intend ma fi dhimma. That means whatever is in my duty. Sometimes when it's not sure that what my duty is to finish the fast of the holy month of Ramadan, or to take the qada. When we do not know the duty, or when the mujtahid, he is not sure, or the state is in such a way that the condition is such that I'm not sure. Here it's obligatory on the person to do what? To intend ma fi dhimma, whatever is in my duty. Whatever is my duty, I will do that. Okay? So this is also another mas'ala. Now, The next mas'ala regarding this, and probably the last one that we will be discussing today, is that if someone knows that he does not have time to perform ghusl or tayammum, intentionally he becomes junub. Alright, he knew that he would not be having enough time to perform ghusl or to do the tayammum, and then he becomes junub intentionally, and then in the end he performs tayammum. Alright, in spite that means he had or he had time, but he delayed the ghusl. That means, for example, he woke up at 3 before the Fajr prayers, at 3 o'clock, and the time of the morning prayers, it sets in at 4:15. Alright, so he had 1 hour and 15 minutes to do the ghusl, but he did not do it until the time was too short that he had to do the tayammum. In this condition, even if the person has committed a sin, he will be regarded as a sinner, but his fast will be alright. The fast, the sawm, the roza that he will be taking on that day, it will be alright, although the person will be regarded as a sinner. Why? Because he should not have delayed the ghusl so that the time it becomes too short that he won't be able to perform the ghusl, and in the end he would do the tayammum, and just after the morning prayers he will do the ghusl and say his prayers, right? So here also the person will be regarded as a sinner, but will not invalidate one's fast. هذا وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.